When we speed up, it causes the other person to run away. When we slow down, it causes them to lean in and at least take us more seriously.
You don't feel like slowing down causes lack of certainty or makes the prospect feel like there's a lack of confidence in your services or product, or lack of knowledge of the product?
I don't, and I'm curious to get other students on the call's opinion, but let me put it this way. Okay, I was in 2013, I had a near-death experience at the hospital, right? And it was pretty bad health care. We'll just leave it at that. I won't say what the hospital it was, because everybody was super fast. They were convinced that I had cancer, which didn't even have cancer. They were convinced I had cancer. They moved me up to the ward where I was going to die, and everybody was coming and poking at me and talking really fast and staking things and taking blood, and it was a really horrible experience. And then one night, I was moaning and groaning, because it was an internal thing that I had going on. I was moaning and groaning about 2 a.m. and if you've been in the hospital, you can't sleep and your door's open when you're in like those intensive care situations. And one doctor, I don't know what the hell he was doing there, maybe somebody had passed away or was saving somebody's life, walked by my room at 2 o'clock in the morning and he stuck his head in there and he was like, "Are you good?" And I was like, "I don't know." On a scale of like 1 to 10, 10 being dead, 1 being totally alive, I was about a 9 at this point. I was like, I'm dying by morning. And I was like, man, I'm dying. And he looked at me and he goes, "Why are you here?" I said, "I've got something. They think I have cancer. I've got something with my insides." "No, I get that, but why are you here? What happened?" "Well, I started feeling sick and I had a fever of 107 and I came to the emergency room and they started doing, and I get all that, but before that, what happened?" "I mean, I was feeling fine." "Were you feeling totally fine?" "Well, I had a sinus infection that wouldn't go away." "Huh, talk to me about the sinus infection." I just, we had 3 weeks and they gave me some antibiotics. Just out of curiosity, how many rounds of antibiotics have you had? "Which doctor?" "What do you mean, which doctor?" "Well, I went to urgent care first, and then I went to my other doctor." "Wait a minute. Time out. Walk me through." And he started talking slowly. This person just happened to be the greatest gastroenterologist in the state of Colorado, maybe in the country. But he's, "Why are you here? Talk to me about what's going on with your situation." Immediately was like, based on everything that I'm hearing, I know you're not my patient, but I'm a gastroenterologist. I believe you have a condition called C. diff. I believe it might have been caused by multiple rounds of antibiotics, and based on what you've told me, you had at least 3. There's a prescription called vancomycin. If you'd like, I'm going to page your physician right now. I'd like to get you on that. I was feeling better within about 6 hours. I went from an inch to, I swear, hours I would have been dead, to starting to feel better. Turns out, had a colonoscopy, went through all that stuff. He was spot on. But the way he spoke allowed me to talk. Isn't that weird? Allowed the patient, our prospect, our customer to talk, and allowed him to figure out what the hell was going on with my situation. Until we learn what's really going on with that customer, we really are malpractice if we're diagnosing, "I know this can help you." Right? Our customers don't care how much we know until they know how much we care. And it's okay, Justin. It's okay. I'm telling you, man. This is a huge decision for them. Real estate is huge. It is okay. I'm giving you permission to slow down. Right? When we look at these houses, Matt, what do you want to see first? I guess garage and home office. Walk me through that. Why the home office? And allow them to talk. Isn't it interesting that nobody in real estate, I've bought multiple houses, nobody has asked me these two dynamite questions. First one everybody should ask, whether you're buying or selling. Just out of curiosity, what's your biggest reason for moving? You know what they ask? Where do you want to move to? What's your budget? Have you been pre-qualified? Do you need a mortgage lender? Because I got a mortgage lender, right? How many bedrooms do you need? What school district do you want? What's your biggest reason for moving? You know, to be honest, Justin, I'm kind of going through a separation right now, and we got to unload the larger house, and I'm really looking for kind of a next chapter in my life here. Sorry to hear that. Walk me through, if you don't mind, kind of like when you visualize what that next place looks like for you, can you kind of walk me through what that vision is? When we slow down, we show that we care. Okay? Because we don't show that we care is the reason why we get hung up on 24/7, 365. Make sense?